Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today I effed up. I've officially branded myself the biggest perv, and I 100% deserve it. Posted by a throwaway account. This happened about an hour ago, and I'm still shaking in fear about what my life will become from now on. There's two situations that led to the conclusion of the F up. First situation. I asked my sister-in-law to borrow her 360-degree camera for a trip my wife and I are taking. And I found the memory card still had content. Her husband travels a lot, and she made a 1-hour POV-style 360-degree porn video. I assume she sent it to him a while back. Now, I've had the hots for her for the past 8+ years. Before she and I got married, there were several times where sexual tensions arose between the two of us. Living together for a year, strictly as roommates, movies, dinners, getting drunk while watching movies, just the two of us, breakfast, etc. A certain trust or test was implemented, and nothing ever happened between us, as at the time, I was dating my now wife, who was working at a distance. But damn it, at the time, if she'd just touched my hand once back then, I think I would have lived a whole different life. So, finding this video, I thought I'd struck gold. I could have what I always fantasized about, gifting my past self, while continuing to live my current happy life. Second situation. I have an automated house that lights up with geolocation. Before the app works with Apple HomeKit, a third-party app needs to be downloaded, which tracks your family and friends. The free version only allows you to add one person, so my wife. My wife and I have had this app for 3 years now, even though it's kind of pointless now after the update a couple years back on the original app. We never deleted it since it was so useful for tracking each other. We get a notification when the other gets to work or arrives home, etc. For example, it's good for when she goes grocery shopping and I get a notification to prompt me to go out and help her. Or when I work late and finally leave the office, prompting her to set up the dining table. Last night she fell asleep without charging her phone. I hate it when she does that. She goes to work with barely any battery. What if she needs to call the police or hospital for an emergency? I had the day off today, so today was the day that I did the deed. I didn't only go with a simple 360-degree video, but instead literally set it up on my VR headset in bed with AirPods on. The full experience. This would have lasted me 5 minutes tops, but the foreplay she does is long and boring. Then the action finally starts and I go. My wife's phone didn't give me a notification that she'd arrived because by now it was dead. She came into the bedroom and saw me jerking off in bed with VR goggles on. She knows I jerk off occasionally, but has never actually seen me do it. I sneak it in here and there. But VR porn was never discussed as a is it cheating if thing. You know the convo I'm talking about. Is it cheating if you have a sex doll? Is it cheating if it's a robot? Is it cheating if you put on a pleasure toy and someone from across the internet strokes you in real time, etc.? I've never had any of these is it cheating convos. The ones I've always had have always been more like, is it cheating to watch porn or go to a strip club? Not, is it cheating to screw a robot or get internet strangers to use a sex toy on you? Is this seriously the norm, or am I just naive? It was the kind of convo we had at the very start of our relationship, back when we were still just friends, to see how far we could take it. Weird, I know, but it was to see if we're on the same page before things started getting serious. Anyways, VR wasn't a thing back then, so it was never discussed. So I never knew if it was right or wrong for me to do so. I guess it was wrong, since she rushed in and ripped the goggles off my face. That's when I see her in the room. The F, she says, and then she looks inside. Is that my sister? I'm effed. She still had her shoes on from arriving, so she grabbed her bag with the VR headset and left the house. I can see from the tracking app that she's at her parents' house, who are neighbours with my sister-in-law. I'm effed. Update 1. So basically, this is what happened tonight. Once my wife arrived at her parents' house, I received a notification that her phone was back on and charging. Some people asked about the tracking app. It's called Life360. It also gives battery percentage notifications when someone's phone is running low. Yep, this is a real app. My family use it too. So basically, after posting and feeling a bit better by telling someone and taking some of the weight off my shoulders, I was pacing around the apartment while trying to call over and over again, but it kept saying her phone was busy. This went on for 45 minutes, or forever. I couldn't focus on the time. Then, all of a sudden, My sister-in-law called. I ignored the call. I was way too scared to face this. She called 5 times in a row while I just watched it ring. Then she gave up. She then sent a text that just said, "Call me." I left the apartment and decided to go watch a movie at the theater. I needed a distraction. But this didn't help as I couldn't focus on the movie at all. I received a call from my wife during the movie, but I ignored it. She knows I have an Apple Watch and receive all notifications, so she knows I was ignoring her. She only called once. My sister-in-law called 3 more times during the movie. Afterwards, I left the theater and decided to go home. On the drive back, I received a notification that she'd arrived home. Now I was petrified, but I thought, F it, suck it up, and just get it over with. I arrived home and was getting ready for the poop storm to begin. I knew she would have gotten a notification that I was back. I went inside and my wife and her sister were in the living room, sitting on the couch. I didn't say anything. I wanted one of them to speak first. What if I said sorry, but there was nothing to be sorry about? At this point, I was just trying to gauge the mood. Seriously, dude? You were caught watching your wife's sister's homemade porno, then ran off and ignored their calls all day. How could you possibly think there was nothing to be sorry for? I'm not one for confrontations or leading conversations. I'm very introverted. But I knew I should be the first one to say sorry. I just didn't know how. My wife then said, "I spoke to my sister about what happened. She knows." Out of reflex, I said, "Knows what?" The nerve of this guy. She said, "Don't lie, the video." I was red flushed for sure. My heart was beating so fast. Then my wife said she deleted the video. This is when I apologized to them both. So very much, almost crying. I saw all the Reddit comments about divorce and all, and I was really upset at myself, but deserved it. But not? But yes. But no? This guy is still questioning if wanking to his wife's sister's sex tape that he knew she didn't mean him to see is justified. Dude, come on. You don't get to plead ignorance. Your wife shouldn't need to explicitly tell you this isn't okay. Then my sister-in-law spoke. She said, "You do understand this video wasn't for you." She then went on for 10 minutes to tell me what I already knew, that what I did was wrong. I just kept nodding. But then this drama came out that completely effed with me. She said that it wasn't for her husband either. He's been consistently traveling to Bulgaria voluntarily at any chance he could, for work, but also through the years, he's been having an affair with a colleague there who works at that branch. She's known for a while and let it slide as he was still providing for her. But the providing became less and less. My wife knew about this too, as she and her sister are very close, but the info was kept within the family to avoid dishonor. This is a big Easter mentality to have, and it's not the first time family info was kept secret from me. They told me because of the circumstance, I was not to apologize or speak to her husband, as he doesn't know about this video. My sister-in-law is seeing someone else. Her husband and her both live as roommates, for now. The divorce word can never come out, but she's found someone long distance, and that video was for him. The reason for all the calls was to not mention anything to her husband. My sister-in-law feared that if I did, then this video would have been used as proof during the divorce, as if she was at fault. It was a very emotional afternoon. I felt like throwing up. The focus was more on my sister-in-law and her life though, and her shame for having kept her relationship going as long as it has. Her husband is barely leaving any money for her anymore, so she's been sleeping more and more at her parents' house. Me obtaining the video didn't come up more than once. I don't know if it was because it was too embarrassing for everyone or what, but it will come up another day for sure. Maybe after everyone's relaxed and tears have dried. I'll have an honest conversation with my wife about my wrongdoings, and also check if VR porn is fine or not. For tonight, my wife invited her sister to stay and sleep over. We got some food and drank a few bottles of wine to help us forget a bit, although it felt awkward as hell. My sister-in-law seemed to be feeling better though. She was smiling and laughing and slapping my shoulder or kicking me under the table every time I made a joke. She seems more open with me now that I'm one of the few people who knows her secret, someone who she can trust and talk to if she needs. We will, all 3 of us, sleep in sleeping bags in the living room, like camping, to keep her company during this tough time for her. My wife seemed okay for now too. Update 2. This is his now ex-wife. Did he not realize or was too dumb to remember that we share everything, including the same Reddit app? I logged on to see his throwaway account as the default login account. I took a look through the comments and was seriously disgusted by most of the responses suggesting to sexually approach us both last night. My sister did actually mention that he tried something in the middle of the night. This guy is living in another world. I'm only posting this to reassure everyone thinking he got away with it that these types of scumbags do not. I came home yesterday with my sister to pack. I saw his update saying I seemed alright, but I was keeping it in for the next morning. The reason we slept in the living room is because I didn't want him to see my bags in the corner of the bedroom. He came home suddenly before I finished packing. It wasn't fun camping or a picnic. This morning, before he woke up, I grabbed the rest of my stuff and left. I went to the bank and froze our joint account before he irresponsibly starts taking cash out. I'm not seeing him anymore. I'm going to lawyer up, give away all this Reddit gold to comments that I feel were actually reasonable, and divorce this loser. Oh, and if you can read this, I've deleted the tracking app. My lawyer will call you to unfreeze your share and take steps to unlink me from any other tracking apps you might have on me. Too long didn't read. His life is ruined. Down in the comments, Carabunga says, that update gave me whiplash. This update made my freaking day. Let me know if you guys think there's any chance this story could be real, cause what the F? I think it actually might be. I know it's absolutely insane, but you can't make this stuff up. But then, on the other hand, why would they just randomly admit that sister-in-law was cheating and give him leverage? It's not like OP would have gone to her husband and admit what he did to his wife. That's just asking for a punch in the face. But now that he knows sister-in-law was cheating and the video was evidence, he might actually, especially with his wife divorcing him. Maybe OP just made that bit up to take some of the heat off himself. Or maybe his wife and her sister just panicked and made a dumb decision in the moment. I don't know, let me know if you guys have any theories, I'd love to hear them. If you like this video, please let me know, and subscribe for more juicy tea.